Hello, welcome to Practically Magick. This is not my usual location. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see what a beautiful little shop this is. This is Rising Moon Minerals, and this is the owner, Jamie, and she's my guest today.
Hi.
We're going to record right here in her shop. Already, every time I walk in here, I'm like, is what it feels like. Yeah. You just walk in. Now, you may not realize as you're looking on camera, but it's kind of a small shop. There's another one over on the other side of this Mountain View Village. It's just like this, and it's empty right now. And I looked inside. Oh, it is? Yeah. They rented it out, yeah. So go check it out. But I went to go look at it when it was empty, and I was like, this is the same size? You make this space feel huge with so many cool things inside. So you can like walk all the way around this little island and all of the crystals around, and then decks of cards. So I'm really excited to come and do this episode. This is a bonus season 2 episode of Practically Magick. We actually wrapped up the season, but I could not come and record here with Jamie because I've known you for what, about a year?
It's been about a year, yeah.
Yeah, we've been part of the Daybreak Network. We network with other businesses and things. But she and I, we're a little different vibe when we go to those networking meetings, because we go in there and it's like, I do websites, I do IT, I do real estate, I do construction, design, whatever, all these real legit businesses. And then we were like, I'm a witch and I do crystal healing.
Yes.
And it's just as legit, folks. It just feels a little different when you go into a space like that. The vibe is like, they're like, what are you doing? Yeah, you sell what now? But at least you have product. What I sell, I have to kind of really explain it to people because they're like, energy work. What is that? What do you do exactly?
Yeah.
Hands, laying on of hands, healing, emotional, moving blockages in your body, things that are invisible and you can't see, but you can feel. But you can definitely feel it when you walk in here, because every time I come in here, especially if you're maybe a little bit more empathic or you just feel the vibes of places, you walk in and it just feels kind of like you got dropped into something.
Yes. Yeah. I get that from a lot of people that come in the shop, and when I'm working and I see people come in, it's almost like a physical, you can actually physically see them like drop the weight. Like everything that they're carrying, it just like falls off of their shoulders, and then they start to open up and talk, and it's just a beautiful experience to have and to provide the space for that.
Is it fun to work here too? Other than when the heat rises in the summer afternoons, but
yeah,
it's really nice and chilly right now, so it feels good.
Yeah, I think a lot of times when you say fun, you know what I mean? Like, is it fun to work somewhere? Everybody's definition of fun is a little different. Mm-hmm. For me, it's a healing experience to work in this space, to be in this space, and to provide the space for others. So it is fun. And it's rewarding, and more than anything, I'm just grateful to be here and provide this.
Yeah, we're going to get into a little bit more of the story of how Rising Moon Minerals came to be, the birth of it, the birth of the Jamie we know now. But we're going to pull a card for our episode today. So I pre-pulled this just a second ago. Haven't really thought too much about it yet, but I pulled the Justice card. By the way, I'm using the Good Tarot. I'll show you. That I bought here, okay? So, I didn't buy it here. I bought it from you at a booth we did together for Daybreak Pride.
Yes, beautiful.
Which Ride the Wave Media and Rising Moon Minerals had little booths side by side, and super fun day. Got to meet all of the people at Daybreak Pride. That is the best. Didn't you have so much fun?
It was an awesome experience. Absolutely. I want to do it every year.
Oh, yeah. People at Pride are so nice, and they just come over, and I had somebody come up and say, I listened to your podcast and I just wanted to say hi. And I was like, that's the best feeling ever. People are so welcoming. It was so much fun. And oh my gosh, your booth was crazy busy all day. Everybody wanted to check out the crystals at Pride. So we know that the queer folk are really into crystals and healing and things like that.
Yes.
Love that.
I love it too. So
we pulled the Justice card for a card today. And I think that's really appropriate, especially because we're in a real seasonal cycle right now of balance, of learning to put things back in balance and things coming kind of like what people typically call karma. although I'm not sure that's how karma actually works in the universe, but what people think of as what you reap what you sow.
Right. What you put out, you get back.
Yeah. Do you feel like that's been happening for you at all? In what you've been putting out for the last couple of months, this is the time when it's like, what's going to happen?
I'm starting to feel that. I'm still learning to trust the process and trying not to push and force something that my own agenda, right? Like I'm trying to trust that what's supposed to be will be, right? Like sit back and let the universe nurture and take care of me. But yes, my intention in having the crystal shop and being here is to put that good energy out there. And I do feel that coming back to me. So on a lower scale, on a level that maybe a lot of people don't realize, that's happening for me. Yeah.
And I guess if it was like fully coming to fruition, it would be like the Judgment card, probably more than the Justice card. So I feel like this is it's appropriate for the time of like, even just noticing when things are out of balance.
Yeah.
To be like, I don't know if that's been happening for you. For me, for sure, the last couple of months has been like, something is not in balance.
Yes. Yeah.
My life is too chaotic for this to be what I wanted.
Right. Yeah, no, I feel that too. And it's paying attention and then really going, okay, what can I do to even the scales a little bit and bring some balance in? Like, I don't know if it's possible to completely find that balance and live in it, but it's that, going back and forth and, we're a little bit heavy on this side. We're a little heavy on this side. And let's kind of see where we're comfortable. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So. I kind of went through a phase just over, as we wrapped up season 2 and, kids were getting out of school. I got to where I was like, oh my gosh, this is too much. Like I have kids all day now. I have the Daybreak Network I was helping run, and I was, finishing up the podcast and things going on there, and Prism Healing and clients and all the things. And then I just went, I'm going to clear everything. So for the past maybe week or two, I've been like, I'm taking this off. I'm taking this off. I'm taking this off. I'm taking this off. I'm doing nothing with that. I'm doing nothing with that. I'm going to let that sit. And then just going, I have to reset back to nothing so I can figure out what is the priority to build up again to a more balanced level. Mm-hmm. And I think what I've realized in doing that, yesterday was the first time I woke up. I took my older son to camp, came back with my other 2 kids, and I was like, we don't have anything on the schedule.
We're not doing
for like the first time, and I can't even remember. I don't remember the last time that happened. And I was like, what do we want to do today, guys? Do you want to like go to the pool or like do some summer fun stuff that kids are supposed to be doing right now? And we did that. So
awesome. So
good. So if you're in that space, you've gone through that, this is a great time to do that. From now until August 1st, when Lamas or Lunasa starts, it's like a good time to just step back, just pause a little bit. I've been saying it all over my social media. If people have not been following me, you guys are not paying attention. So I've been like, pull back, don't do as much, take more breaks, take more like daily retreats, not those, I got to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to go into the mountains for 3 days. I mean, like, I'm going to take 15 minutes. This is my 15-minute break. I'm going to go and like sit in my car or go sit on a bench and just do nothing for this next 15 minutes and just put life back into balance.
Yeah.
Is there anything else with the Judgment card that you feel like comes up for you?
For me, it's been a lot of upheaval this year. It's been a lot of emotional upheaval, a lot of being taken advantage of, and a lot of trying to figure out what works, not only for me as a business, but for me as who I am and who I'm becoming. So it's been a lot of, I think when you say judgment, what comes to me is like being less judgmental of me and my journey, right? Because my journey is, it's not laid out. It's not perfect. And I'm just continuously learning and being able to do that and let go and just let it be. So I think that's a lot of it, is like that inner judgment of who I am and who I expect myself to be, and letting that go and just letting it be.
Yeah. And with that being said, you talk a little bit about your journey to, because I've heard the story a little bit, but I think it's a lot of people's stories, especially when they find their passion. So you were not really so much into the spiritual stuff early on. Like
my experience with spirituality, right, was an organized religion. And, growing up, going through my teenage years, it never seemed to really resonate, right? Like it was like, so I just don't feel like this is for me. Something feels off. And I don't know if wrong is the word that I need to use, but it definitely didn't feel right. Didn't feel good. I didn't enjoy being in the space. And there was one experience that just it clicked in my brain. And I said, I have to do what I have to do when I'm living with my parents. Well, my mom, that's a whole other story. But while I'm living with my mom, while I'm living at home, I'm expected to attend this religion. I'm expected to live in a certain way. But when I'm 18, I'm done. I won't be doing this anymore. And I did that for myself. I walked away. And at the time, I shut myself off completely from anything spiritual because it was such a negative feeling for me to be spiritual in that sense. And it took me a really long time. I shut it out completely, didn't want to talk about it, didn't want to be a part of it. And then it was actually just a code. Like 2.5 years ago, my daughter had major jaw surgery, like upper and lower, and it was right around Christmas time. So we were looking for things to put in her stocking, right? Mm-hmm. And what do you usually do? Candy. Yeah. Treats, things like that. And I was like, well, she can't chew. She's on a completely liquid diet, so that doesn't really fit. But we had been to Vegas just before her surgery, and she had been in a crystal shop and had bought some gifts for her friends. And I was like, well, maybe I'll get her some crystals. Had a family member take me to a local crystal shop, and I started looking around and reading the little description cards and going, what fits, what resonates. And I started to actually listen to myself. And I think that's the first time in a really, really long time that I actually went inward. And I didn't realize I was doing this at the time, but looking back, I was trying to tap into what can I get for her at this time in her journey where she's healing physically. Mm-hmm. What can I do to support her? And I started reading the cards, and I was like, that's a cool one, and that's a cool one. And I started, taking pictures of them so that I could tell her what they were and how they would help her. And there was this one crystal in the shop that I kept circling back to. Mm-hmm. For me, this was not for her. And I was like, well, I'm not here for me. I'm here for her. You know what I mean? And I circled back to that crystal countless times because it was a bigger store. So it was like we would make the rounds, and then I would go back and pick it up, and I was like, that's so expensive. It's Christmas time. I don't want to buy something for me right now that's that price, right? Well, long story short, it came home with me. That was my first crystal, and I still have it. And then I started researching and reading, and I started to realize, I was like, wow, this is a way for me to be spiritual and tap into a spiritual side of me that's been dormant for so long. But this actually resonates, right? So I went crazy, started collecting, going to the crystal shop 2 or 3 times a week, buying, reading. And then it was I started to realize that I was retaining this information. I could look at a crystal, know what it was, know how it would help you. And, my collection started to grow. My husband started collecting. My daughter was collecting. We're all kind of on this journey. It was really, really awesome. And, it was probably about 6 months into that. I was like, I think I want to open a crystal shop.
Wow. And that's pretty fast.
Yeah.
I mean, from oh, what is this? I'm kind of interested. But man, to have something born out of the idea that this is my intuition I'm feeling. This is my connection. That's my favorite part. And I don't know if you've told that part before, but I love, I've been told how to be spiritual. I've been told what God is or what the higher power is supposed to look like and feel like. And then for the first time, I feel it. I feel even the cards that you're reading, you're like, I'm starting to not even just look at that. I'm starting to feel something here where I have a connection and I know what this crystal is and what it means and what it's doing for me.
Right.
And I mean, if there's anything that sums up my work or my efforts in my work over the years, it's that. I want people to feel like spirituality is their connection. And essentially that's the if there was a dogma in paganism, that's it. That's all it is just, what is that connection for you? Like, what are you feeling?
Right. And it should be a very personal and individual thing where you can say, oh, this is what resonates. This is where I belong. And finding that for myself and feeling that, I was like, oh, other people need to feel this. I want other people to have this connection. And whether it's with the crystals or whether it's with whatever it is, I wanted to provide a space and the opportunity not only to have people come in and buy crystals from me, but also connect, right? Like, my big thing for this year has been connection. And when people come in and they talk, and it's always so awesome to watch people like open up and to start talking about their journey. And their journey is intersecting with my journey, and we're connecting. And that might not be a long-term thing. They might come back, they might not. They might stay in contact, they might not. But to know that I was part of somebody else's journey and that they were also part of my journey, that's a beautiful thing. And I am so, so grateful.
That's what I imagine being, I think, what would be the most fun. When I say it's fun to work here, I think what would be the most fun for me, if I imagine, is the old-timey shop owner that, like, you know their name when they walk in and they know your story and they're like, I know what you need. Kind of like an apothecary, but in a crystal form, which we can go into. For those who have listened to the podcast, there's the episode that I did on crystals in season 2, Crystals 101, that just kind of tells you the science behind why crystal healing works. And for me as a healer, it's similar to vibrational healing that can be herbal. It can be the Bach flower essences or the essential oils, like physical and emotional and energetic healing. Crystals fall under that category for me and how I utilize them as tools. I can't say that I'm as knowledgeable. You're a crystal healer. Okay, Jamie's a crystal healer. This is a person who knows the crystals very personally, knows their values and attributes, and can point them out. I have a general knowledge. I can tell what certain things are, and I'm like, maybe that's sodalite. Maybe it's lapis lazuli. I can't really tell the difference. It's hard for me. But I know a basic understanding of the crystals, and when I use them, I'm usually prescribing them to clients who've come for a healing session. They've just cleared a bunch of stuff. Sometimes it is very heavy and it's emotional and it's traumatic. And then I say, okay, you might want some things to support you. I'll ask them, are you a crystal type person? Would you like to have a crystal around? Would you keep it around? Do you feel like you resonate with that? Or, you know, an herbal, a tea, something else. And then I use like guidebooks full of that information. I go through and muscle test for them. So I don't have to know what the crystals are and what they do. I go through and muscle test, narrowing down, this is what your body is telling you need. And then I give them your card. And I go, okay, now you need to go to Rising Moon Minerals and see if they have this crystal. They have most of them. You can go find most of the things that you need there. And that's what I've been sending clients after a session. I'm like, go get yourself this crystal. Keep it around you. This is what you need while you're integrating the healing work we just did. Yeah. It was really hard and heavy.
Yeah. And when you say support, that's the word that kept coming to my mind. Was a crystal is not going to fix you. It's not going to heal you. The energy and your intention of when you actually integrate that crystal into your life, where you put it, all of those things are actually supporting.
Yeah.
Whatever, like for me, it's the energy centers, right? It's your chakras. So if you're dealing with certain energy centers, you're trying to heal and you're trying to support while you heal, the crystal and the energy that comes from the crystal is what's going to do that for you. A lot of times it's a redirection, right? It's, oh my gosh, I have so much anxiety. I'm so worried about this, and this. For me, I take lepidolite. Lepidolite is a lithium-based crystal. It's very soothing, very calming. I take it and I hold it, or I put it in my pocket, or I'll sleep with it. Because I feel the energy soothing me, and I feel like I'm redirecting my worrisome thoughts into something else.
Yes.
So it's always about your intention. You can't just take a crystal and go, oh, that's going to fix me. I'm going to buy this.
Buy it, walk around with it.
Walk around with it. And all of a sudden, I'm better. It's just not how it works. And even, any kind of medicine's not going to just fix you and make you better. You have to want to feel better, and you have to want to do better.
Yeah.
Where are your intentions?
The intentions behind it, for sure. Like we talked about the creation of spells in season 1. I'm going to refer to all those old episodes a lot. So the words, the will, and the way, when I talk about like when you're creating a spell, or if you prefer to call it a prayer, doesn't really matter. I don't see the difference. But when you're doing that, even in like books about intention behind prayer, they talk about your vibrational frequency while you're doing it. So the will behind it. So it's not just the words you're speaking, although the words are powerful and they're the beginning of it. The will, the frequency behind it. That's where I think crystals kind of play a part in that, is because, and we talked about this in the crystals episode. You can go back and listen to more about that. But they are a vibrational frequency, just like sound baths, just like the food that you eat. And in my work, the colors you paint, the colors you visualize, the colors you associate with, they're all vibration. So obviously crystals are going to have colors associated with them as well. And I have heard flack online. I got into one of those Discord group chat kind of things way back early in my research when I was just diving my toe into healing work and energy, and was like, what is this about? What is a chakra? What are we doing here? And I started asking questions, and I got blasted. There was a group of people that were like, crystals have nothing to do with the chakras. You're appropriating. It's blasted, right? Now, at first, your defenses get up because you're like, what, me? I'm good. I am nothing but good in this world. I would never. But, you have to sit with things like that. Things that make you uncomfortable. You have to go, oh, okay. I definitely don't want to be appropriating cultures, which is why I often, I'll say chakras so that people understand what I'm talking about, but energy centers, or in the Celtic tradition, cauldrons. But to act like they don't have colors associated with them is just kind of ignoring the science behind it too.
Right.
So while I had to sit with the discomfort of being like, okay, I am a white chick, they like make fun of us white chicks with a nose ring and tattoos that like tell you what planet is making you sad. That's the kind of vibe. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to be that. I really do want to be authentic. I want to be intentional. I want to be respectful. And so I had to sit with that feeling for a minute, that discomfort, which I invite everyone to do. If you're getting blasted on the internet, go, okay, all right. I'm not going to take it personal. I'm not going to invite that energy into myself and say that this is what I am and make a new truth about myself. But I can sit with the discomfort and say, what part about this am I maybe needing to work with? So just putting that out there. If you get blasted because you're talking about crystals and chakras, there are circles and groups out there that may disagree with our viewpoint on that. And that's okay. Yeah. But talking about crystals as support, Jamie does a crystal of the week in her shop every week. So you're going to want to follow her on Instagram. We'll talk about that at the end. Give all your socials so you can follow her, Rising Moon Minerals. But the crystal of the week is usually discounted, right? Yes. Is it always the same?
I changed it up a little bit this week. So usually it's about 10% off, but it depends on what I have and what's available. A lot of times when I decide to focus on a certain crystal, I only have a few pieces. So I don't do a huge discount on those because then I won't have any more of it. But I mean, the goal is to get it to the people that need it. So sometimes I'll do like a 30% off. Sometimes I'll do buy one, get one half off. It just kind of depends on
depends on the crystal.
Yeah,
depends on the
crystal.
mood.
And how I'm feeling. So
she's the boss. She gets to decide. That's the best part. But I just wanted to highlight, because it will change by the time this episode comes out. But I do want to say the amethyst is the crystal of the week while we're recording. So it's all set up here in this beautiful display. And I have to point that out because amethyst is kind of, at least when I was first starting out doing a lot of research, amethyst was like the go-to for everything.
Everybody knows amethyst.
I know. And I do feel like it's kind of a blanket. Like if you don't know what you need, and you can't specifically be like, oh, I need this, I would say go with amethyst every time. I'd be like, all right, look, I'm just feeling off. I don't really know why. I don't know. I remember there was a period of time in my house where everybody was just at each other's throats all the time for some reason. And I was like, what is going on in my house? Everyone is just a little cranky, irritated with each other. There's just a vibe. I could feel it. I was like, ew, everybody leave me alone. And then I took my amethyst. I did get a smooth, nice round one at some point that changed how I do this, but I had at the time a pyramid one, so it was nice and pointy. And I stuck it in my bra. And I was like, this is probably going to be uncomfortable, but I'm going to put it in my bra and I just wear it around all day. And oh my gosh, the difference. I was like, my day feels better. And again, it could be placebo effect, could be my mind. Doesn't matter. I don't care if it is or it isn't. What's important to me is that if I believe that amethyst in my bra is going to make my day better, and it did.
Yeah, you can't complain.
I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to question it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think amethyst is a great one, and I love, I use in my, we're going to talk about this in just a second, but in my crystal grids, I have for my crystal that I use to direct energy is the one with the amethyst quartz. It's like they call it ghost, right? Amethyst ghost or something. Phantom. Was so close, you guys.
Phantom amethyst.
It's a ghost. I have ghosts on the brain a little bit lately. But yeah, phantom, where it's the amethyst is in the quartz. And I use that as my directing energy. So all of the quartz are organized around the crystal grid in their space. And you infuse it with the Reiki energy and send it where you want it to go. So we have a couple of crystal grids in the shop too, if you're interested in looking at those. But I do want to talk a little bit about, before we move on and bypass it completely, I want to talk about our journeys as healers. Because I was thinking about this a lot as we've got customers, they're just like waiting for you to open.
Yeah.
They've got a line out the door, guys. A line out the door. They're waiting. I'm just kidding. So when we're talking about our journey to become healers, the idea, and this is a lot of times in therapy, they talk about this, psychologists, the wounded healer, that there's a real difference between being a wounded healer and a wounded healer.
Yes.
You can't hear the difference, but it's there. One is someone who obviously having been through trauma, having a lot that they're going through, but they cannot break out of that in order to heal other people because they're still so wrapped in their stuff. So when a wounded healer is trying to heal, they are going to have their ego in the way. They're going to project their own traumas onto what's going on with their clients or the person they're working with. But there is such a thing as a wounded healer, in that, capital letters, wounded healer, that we've all been on a journey of healing. And that helps fuel our passion. Because you talked about coming from an organized religion, there are wounds with that. There's like wounds with, what is my relationship with God? This is the God I've only ever known, been raised with. Is this God that judges? And perhaps you have to be deemed worthy.
Yes.
That's a huge thing in our culture.
Yeah.
For those listening out of state of Utah, in the Mormon culture, it's very much you need to prove your worthiness with all of these things, which really just translates to conditional love from your higher power, which then translates into shame that has to be then worked on and healed in that process. So,
and you never actually achieve worthiness. Never.
No.
No matter how hard you try, no matter what you do, no matter what you give up, no matter anything, no matter how much money you give, you'll never achieve worthiness. It's like this void, this vast emptiness that you're constantly trying to fill.
Yes.
So
perfectionism.
Yes. you cannot make mistakes, but Jesus died to save us from our sins. So are we okay to sin? There's so much that they say, and this is not just the Mormon religion. This is a lot of organized religions where they say this and this and this, and you should do that, and you over here, and then you do that, and then you're like, well, that's not enough. And it's a vicious cycle of never being good enough. And a lot of that and you just end up in shame.
Yep.
I do this and I do that, and I never achieve what I'm trying to achieve, so I must never be good enough. So then I'm ashamed of who I am. And that's me in a nutshell, as a child, as an adolescent, and as an adult, as a mom. I became a mom with all of this trauma. Mm-hmm. And then my children will never be a part of an organized religion. And so it did. I flipped the coin completely. I was like 100% never. My kids will never experience that. In this state, you can't. It touches your life no matter what you do. Their friends, at school, everything. So I couldn't protect them from it. And so when I was able to find this path and show them that you can heal, you can do better, and you can have spirituality, it didn't only improve my life, it improved my relationship with my children, with my husband, with the people around me. There were people that were energy vampires that were just constantly taking from me. And I was like, I don't want that anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I need to be able to rise above that, and you need to figure out how to get your own. Mm-hmm. So when you say wounded healer, like my whole body just gets chills, because I think it describes who I am. Mm-hmm. Because yes, I am wounded, and I have been wounded, and I don't know that I'll ever not be wounded.
Right. And I think that fuels our passion, but also our understanding and our empathy and our recognition of it. Because now, having been through what you've been through, you can recognize when you're being made to feel a certain way. Mm-hmm. Like someone's talking to you, or you're being triggered, and you go, I know that feeling of I'm not enough is surfacing with this. Or that's the message that's coming through with commercialism and, anything really, everywhere you go. It's like, you're not enough. Let me tell you how to be more, how to be enough. And recognizing that also helps you to step outside of it when helping other people.
Yeah.
To be like, okay, I see what you're going through, and I also know why you're going through it. Yeah. Like, that's so important, is to be like, I'm not sitting here going, you're living your life wrong. Mm-hmm. You're doing all of these things wrong. You're thinking wrong. You're speaking wrong. You're doing this wrong. It's like, you're doing things the only way you've ever known how. And I understand why, because I've been there, and I was that, and am still that on many times. We're always like addressing our shadow selves. So the wounded healer, and by the way, I have to give credit, because the wounded healer I just learned in my course with Tiffany Lazick, who was another guest on the show. So I just wrapped up her enlightenment path course. And one of her last lessons to us was the wounded healer. And I thought about that journey and how she classifies shadow workers. Because a lot of times we hear shadow workers in the mystical healing world, in our world, and they're just people who work with people's shadows, with like you're bringing things to light that you need to see about yourself. But actually, she's like, shadow workers to me are the people who are in their shadow and trying to do the work. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's a very different vibe. So basically the wounded healer being the healer that's like, I'm not looking at my stuff. I'm not doing the work for myself, which I think is just such an important part. So for anyone looking down a path of, I want to become a type of healer, I want to become, and by the way, in any profession, therapists, the academic world, doctors, I don't care what you are, but energy healers, Reiki masters, sound bath healers, all of the different modalities, breath work, all the different modalities of healing that we do. If you're not continually working on yourself and doing the healing work yourself, You have to be aware of things that trigger you. You have to be aware of things that go, oh, that feels super sticky. Mm-hmm. So again, when you're blasted on the internet by some group of people that are like, you're doing it wrong, you have to be able to stop and go, okay, what about that is true? Or what about that am I needing to work through within myself? Right. So we're wounded healers, healing, helping people, but also doing the work, going and doing healing courses ourselves. We just finished up a cohort together that we did, trauma with money, wound healing. So we're just out there doing the hard work. So good for you.
I don't think it's possible to help others heal if you aren't trying to heal yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can't just like step into something and go, I know how to fix you.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Even the word fix you.
Yeah.
I mean, like that already gets me going.
It is a trigger. No. Yeah, for sure.
Somebody said that to me. I'd be like, oh, okay, I'll be moving on.
Okay, well, just show me then, fix me, please. Because, But I've had this discussion with a lot of people. A lot of people ask me about crystal healing. They ask me about why I am where I am. And I've recognized within myself that I will always be on a healing journey.
Yeah.
Always. But because I can recognize and I can do the work, but I will always be healing. Mm-hmm. I'll never be healed. And that's okay. That's okay. That's not that's like going back into an organized religion, trying to achieve something that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Being 100%
always
healed.
Chasing. It's always just right there. And you're like, oh, you're not quite.
Almost. Keep going, keep going. But for me in this space and being the crystal shop owner, it's almost as if as I take that step forward in my healing journey, I'm always looking to bring people with me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh, it's so beautiful over here. Come over here. Come check this out.
Yeah.
Look at the opportunity, the options that you have to heal. It's not just one path, right? Everybody's on, and I love the visual that I have within my mind. I don't know if I can put it out there right, but it's like 100 bajillion different paths, and we're constantly like intersecting and crossing each other's paths. And some people, it's not a positive one, right? It's like, oh, I think I'll move on from this path now. And other ones, we kind of want to stay and linger, and we want to learn. Like, I would love to learn from you, and I would love to learn from a lot of people whose paths I've crossed on my journey. Mm-hmm. And then when it's time, then you move on and you learn from others. And
I love that image. And when I talked about paganism, there's a quote. I'm forgetting who said it. Graham. But they were talking about paganism being not the tree that sprouts from the doctrine like a religion, but paganism is the whole forest. Mm. And I love that because there's no doctrine or dogma that you're basing it on. I mean, a lot of people engage with mythology and polytheism, and they love to play with those energies and believe in the gods of the old Celtic or Norse or Greek or whatever. So there is that tree, but paganism is the whole forest. And it's like, we're not all on the same branches. We're just
grow in different ways.
Yeah. But all connected in this forest because we appreciate what spirituality there is to offer from the earth, which again, going back to the crystals, that is the spirituality of the earth. Like you're digging up rocks and they're like special. And that's again, spirituality connected to the earth. It's one of my favorite people who I learned from. She was talking about releasing your stuff, and she was like, give it to the earth. The earth takes your blood and your snot and your shit and turns it into beautiful things and turns it into things you need. And I was like, whoa, hold on. Like, it's not some imagery of an old man in the sky. And I mean, they think we're crazy pagans for believing that the earth takes our stuff and makes beautiful things. That actually literally happens.
But yeah, that's a scientific fact, right?
The sun is in the sky. The moon is in the sky. We can see it. It's there.
Yeah. There's no denying that.
And I did meet somebody just recently who's like, oh yeah, this is really interesting stuff. I just have to tell you though that I'm a little bit wary about, witches and magic. I don't believe it. I don't like dark magic, and I don't like black magic or anything like that. Only light. And I'm Christian and this and that. And I was like, okay, no, totally fine. You can be Christian and pagan, by the way.
Yes.
Just FYI, paganism is not a religion. So if you happen to be in a religion, paganism is just the additional respect of nature.
Yeah.
Fire trucks are
I know. It's like
all around us. Hopefully everyone's okay. Oh my gosh. We should have a building explode in our vicinity not long ago.
But I just wanted to say, as you're talking about like giving things to the earth, I've had very powerful experiences with crystals where I've taken my whatever is going on with me, my upheaval of energy, my overwhelming energy, and I've taken black tourmaline. Black tourmaline is, people ask me this all the time, what's your favorite crystal? I'm like, you can't make me choose because I love them all. But if I had a go-to, it's a black tourmaline. I was in a situation where my energy was really, really, really high, and I grabbed a piece of black tourmaline and I put my hands on it. I closed my eyes and I could physically feel all of that leave my body and go into the black tourmaline.
Powerful. I mean, that reminds me of certain Reiki training that we do where clearing entities. And sometimes entities are just, I don't like using the word dark. Some Reiki, they use the dark energy, but I'm like, who decided it was dark? Yeah. I don't know. Heavy feels more aligned with what I think, but it's a heavier energy that kind of is attached to you, whether it's like a soul energy or it's just you were, in a place that feels heavy and it attached to you. But there's like a process in the Reiki healing where you do that, where you clear that and you just invite it to leave. You go, thank you for what you thought you were doing. You're not helping. You can go, kind of a thing. And that feels like what tourmaline does. I feel like it goes, let's just take that. Yeah. Like, you don't need to be holding on to that. That doesn't need to be attached to you. We'll just take that from you and have that. And then of course the process of like clearing and cleansing the crystals. Yeah. I don't know if you have a ritual. Do you have a ritual when you walk in and open the store? Do you have anything that you do?
I don't specifically. I know a lot of people do. I'm not a very ritualistic person. So it's That's more of just like, I don't know. I just appreciate the space that I'm in. But I do occasionally, and it's not like on a certain time, but there are times that like I'll be working and all of a sudden I'll smell sage. And I have my sage and I have my Palo Santo and I have my incense and it's not burning, but I'll smell it. Yeah. And that's my indication that it's time to sage.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So I will light up my sage and I'll walk through the shop with my good intentions and mentally speak to the crystals. Yeah. Right? Like, thank you for bringing your energy. Thank you for all that you do. And I do the sage, and then I do the Palo Santo, and then I will burn incense.
Yeah. I was just noticing, too, you have plants.
Yes. There are plants all around,
too, which are energy cleansers. They just sit and clean the energy in the shop as well. And then the selenite you can always use to cleanse your crystals of energy. So if you have a tourmaline, this is why I was bringing it up, the tourmaline, and you're like, okay, I've had this for a bit. I'm going to just go set it on some selenite or put it under the full moon for a cleanse, whatever ritual you have to cleanse it, because it has been taking all that heaviness and it is holding that for you, and it lowers the vibration of the crystal until you cleanse it. So anyway.
So yes, there's a few different ways to do it. You can do smoke cleansing. You can do full moon cleansing. You can use selenite. You can also use sprays if you don't like smoke. We have the Palo Santo, the lavender sage and lavender sprays, and they're all crystal infused as well. So those are beautiful, and they smell great. They're really good. The all natural. Yes. So,
yes.
Yeah.
I do like the sprays, especially for people who have like the respiratory disorders and sort of things. When I'm doing a Reiki session, or energy healing session, my Reiki room, I'll try to find aromatherapy that doesn't do the incense and smoke, because I like that for myself. I have those on my personal altars, but I'm like, when I want people to smell the things. I don't want to bother anybody that might have sensitivity to smoke. Yeah. So sprays, diffusers, oils. That's what I use. Oils, yeah. Perfect.
But it's all about intention. I think is what I was trying to get to is whatever your intention is, right? Like as you're cleansing the crystals, I always give them my gratitude. And I want them to know that I appreciate their helping me and supporting me. And now it's time to let that go. And then and I've actually physically seen a green moonstone sphere that I have, put it out in the full moon for a couple of hours, brought it back in, and it was almost glowing.
Wow.
So it was so happy. It's kind of the way that I saw it. It was just like, oh, thank you so much. I was holding on to all this energy and I was able to let it go, and now I can shine. And I think that's important, not only for crystals, but for us as people to let that shit go.
Yeah.
So that you can shine.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. The intentionality, 100%. Because you can just take a shower every night before you go to bed, because that's just your routine, and for hygiene reasons you take a shower every night. Or your shower is your cleansing ritual. Mm-hmm. It goes in and you go, I want the water to wash away everything that I've held on to today. I want it to. And when that intention goes into it, it's more than just hygiene.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So even just coming in, I would even say that as a ritual, to just come in and just be in the space and to just thank the crystals. I would call that a ritual. Yeah. Because I think I have a friend who works at a different location, crystals, and she was like, I come in every morning and I wake up the crystals. She wakes them up. I love that. I love the idea of just being like, hello.
And every space is different, right?
Yeah.
I don't feel like my crystals really go dormant because of the space that we're in.
Oh my gosh, there's so much light.
There's light in the windows, and the sunlight comes in, the moonlight comes in.
Yeah.
The light from the space that we're in, the mall area. I guess I just don't feel like my crystals go dormant.
Yeah, they probably don't.
They don't need to be woken.
They're in the moon every night.
Yeah.
That they're in the shop here. Yeah. I just want to show everybody the crystal grids. These are ones my father-in-law etched with an etcher. There are nicer ones. These ones are just etched on boards, but they'll do for what you need. If you had a sacred geometry crystal grid, you can take classes on making crystal grids and proper ways to do it. But honestly, I think it's all personal. I think it's all just hey, what if you just got out what you had and you just aligned them in a way that looked beautiful to you, or with an intention of, okay, I want something for my heart chakra in the middle, and I want all of the outside crystals to pull the energy into that, because I want that to come to me. So just having an idea of what it is you want and how you want to arrange the crystals, and in a sacred geometry, which is connected to the vibration of sound healing. Sound healing makes sacred geometry. So it's all connected. It's all very scientific. There's several of these. There's small ones and big ones, and you can make your crystal grids at home. So I just want to show them that real quick.
True.
There's decks, so come and check it out.
Yeah.
So as we're getting ready to wrap up, I just want to so let everybody know how they would find you online, your social media and website. Okay. Where can we find you?
Okay, so online, I have a website, risingmoonminerals.com. I'm on Instagram at rising_moon_minerals. I'm on Facebook, Rising Moon Minerals Utah, I believe. You should find me. And then I'm also on TikTok. I'm not very active on TikTok. I'm very intimidated by TikTok.
Me too.
But I'm there, and I post the crystal of the week and things like that, try to get the interaction. But yeah, you can find me pretty much anywhere. Even if you Google Rising Moon Minerals, I should come up. In Utah, I'm in Mountain View Village in Riverton, right by the Kona Grill and Cinemark Theater.
Yep, right here next to the playground and parking lot.
You can see
this is a great spot.
So yeah,
I would have so much fun working here because I just sit and people watch and interact with people all day. Love it. Yeah. Awesome. And before we close out, we just want to tease a little bit of excitement for season 3. So this is our season 2 bonus episode, but season 3 will be starting up again in a couple of months. And we have a new co-host for Practically Magick season 3, Jamie!
Yay!
So if you've liked this episode, we've got a lot more coming. And we're really diving deep into some topics. I'm really excited that will go with the crystals that she's selling in her shop. So we get to kind of deep dive into what those crystals can do to support you, but also the topics around those things for us personally and for what you need to know about those topics. So I'm really excited. I've been planning episodes and I'm so excited. And I just love hanging out with Jamie. It just kind of came from an idea born from, we just like hanging out. Why don't we just do this and record? Yeah. So that's what we're going to do.
We have a lot to learn from each other. So
yeah. Get to come hang out.
We learn from each other and help others learn at the same time.
Hopefully you get some benefit out of our discussions as we have fun. Yeah. So that's what we'll be doing season 3. We'll see you and thank our sponsors, Sunshine Community, and thank you, Jess Blaine at Ride the Wave Media for producing and putting out this podcast. If you're looking for a producer to support your podcast, check out Ride the Wave Media because it's a blast. We have so much fun over here. All right, we'll see you next time, witches and wizards.